Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. How's everyone doing? Welcome to the webinar today on the importance of support and resistance and why it's so powerful. So, support and resistance. Okay, I'm going to share my whiteboard here real quick. Let's go through a couple of things. So, the first half of the webinar, I'm going to go through some of the basics of support and resistance. This is going to be good for those of you guys who are pretty much brand new. The last half of the webinar, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some more of a in-depth talk about support and resistance, which is a little bit more experience level. Okay, those of you guys who are new, you guys will enjoy this as well. And those of you guys who are experienced, make sure you know your basics. Aha. Okay. Okay. Now, along with these two things, towards the end, those of you guys who are not students, I will give you guys a chance to join Urban Forex, and that we'll talk about that towards the end. So I got a little surprise for you towards the end about that. Okay, so here we go. Let's start with some of the basics. What is support and resistance? You'll see it sometimes listed as SNR or R&S. Okay, mostly it's written this way and not this way. Support is if something is below you is called support. Imagine a person holding up something. This is called support. Okay? So if your prices are here, whatever is below you holding it up is support. Okay? Whatever is above you is resistance. Okay? So far so good? Simple enough, right? Now, let's go deeper into why is this concept so interesting? How do people use it and what do they do with it? So let's say prices are coming down. Prices come down, they hold a bit, they come down, they hold a bit, they come down, they hold a bit, they come down. So what people like to do is they like to take this line and they draw it across and saying, that is my support. Okay? When the support gets crushed like that, because support pushed up, that means, oh, this must be a good area. Someone is supporting this area and pushing it up. Oh, sorry, that looks like a bat now. Okay, someone is pushing it up. But when that thing breaks and goes down, they then say support is now equal to resistance, which means this, anytime the prices come up, this area should push it back away. So far, so good? Does that make sense? Okay. So I want to go through these basics a little bit with you guys to make sure there is no illusion behind support and resistance. Now, here's where the problem comes in. I want you guys all to start with this concept of I don't know, and then we can begin. The reason why we do that is because when we come into the market to learn something, especially into a webinar, there's this whole notion of I'm in the webinar, but I already know this stuff. Then why join the webinar, right? That doesn't make any sense. You're counterproductive. So if you want to join, you join with the concept of I don't know, show me what you got. Because I'm curious to see if there's more to learn, okay? So you gotta sort of drop down the ego a little bit, okay? Because there's many things that many people will realize, oh, I didn't know that about the basics. So shall we do that? All right, so here we go. I don't know. Here we go. That's how learning begins. Moving it further. What makes a support and resistance good? Okay, so let's say we have support here. Would you say this is a good support? It's holding the price, right? It's holding the price over and over and over and over again. It's holding the price. Now, here's the misconception many people have. If it's held the price over and over again, therefore it's a good support. That's wrong. It's not a good support. How about this? Okay, if price comes to here and responds like that, is that a good support? That is also wrong. And this is why this webinar is important, right? This is why this is going to be so important, is because many people have a misconception of what the hell is a damn support, right? What am I supposed to draw? Okay, So let's talk about this. I believe now I have your attention, all you brainiacs. Okay, so let's go into it a little bit deeper. A little bit deeper. So far, basic stuff, so good. Everyone understands support is the stuff below you. All the new people who don't know what support and resistance is, it's very powerful. You must know this. You must know this. If you like to buy, let's say you like to buy a car. What's a hot car these days? You guys tell me. I'm not into cars and stuff. What's a hot car? A Lambo. Okay. All right. So, okay, a lot of you guys are saying Tesla, Lambo, Ferraris. Okay. Let's say this is a Tesla mixed with a Lambo, mixed with a Ferrari. It's like a supercar. Okay? And an Aston Martin, all of it together. This is like ultra fancy. Okay. Now, if this car is worth $1,000, okay? Can you tell me, is this car, is it a cheap price or is it expensive? Or do you not know? As of right now, if the only thing I've told you, it's $1,000. We don't know anything. We actually don't know anything. If the price starts to rise, and now the prices have reached $2,000, now would you say, is the price expensive, cheap, or normal? Expensive, right? Okay, the reason why you're saying expensive, you have something to compare it to. Now, if the store says, this is now a Black Friday deal, we are giving away cars for a discounted price, and the discounted prices are coming down, and they go to 1,500. Would you say that's a discount? Absolutely. Then the prices drop further, 1,200. Would you say that's a discount? Then the prices drop further, and now it's at 1,000. What do you think the public will do at 1,000? They would want to buy because they would remember this as the original price before prices started to rise. This is what makes it a support. This is what makes it a support. So let me ask you the question I asked you earlier. When I asked you guys this thing, is this a good support? Many people said yes. Can you tell me now, is this a good support? No. So the whole myth of the more times it touches a line, the more beautiful the line becomes, that is correct. It is beautiful, but has no value. It's useless, but it is beautiful. It looks nice to draw. It's like, it's like preschool all over again. I can connect the dots really beautifully. Right? So far, so good? So this one, from 1,000, the price shot up to 2,000. Therefore, it becomes a memory. If this is 1,000 and price shot up to 1,100, that's not going to do much for you. That's not going to do much for you. People won't run after it to buy, right? Because you're not trading Forex. You're actually purchasing something. You have to understand that. If you understand that logic that you're actually buying a good, then you will understand that it's nothing than how you normally do shopping. It's exactly the same way. So far, so good? All right, let's go deeper. Let's go deeper. So this nasty, horrible, beautiful looking car that we have that is going to be, actually, it looks like the Tesla truck. I'm good at drawing. I should go join Tesla. Okay, anyways, moving forward. Okay. Now, if we say prices are here for this car, it's $1,000. Prices go up 1,100, and then prices collapse. Now this collapse went to $50. Do you think people will want to buy it? Yeah, it's a discounted price. Okay, let's say if people start to buy it and the prices don't go up so fast. If it goes up fast, what do you think happens? The discount was only for 1 or 2 or 3 cars, not a lot. And some people bought it, things are back to normal. So far, so good. Does that make sense? There was only a few pieces, some people bought it, things are back to normal. However, if prices go up slowly, And now I'm teaching you market dynamics a little bit. If prices go up slowly, do you think the discount is still around? $75, $100, the discount is still around? But people are starting to buy it. More people buy it because it's cheap. 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 What happens when you reach approximately this area? The memory kicks in, the resistance, the memory of, hey, remember last time when the prices were close to 1,100, it went down to $50? Bro, don't buy it here. It's gonna go down. It's gonna go down. Bruh. Don't buy it here. It's gonna go down. This is why all the buying halts. Okay? That's what makes a resistance a resistance. And this is like a Fibonacci guy's worst nightmare. That's 100% pullback. A Fibonacci guy is like losing his shirt. He's like, oh my God, what is happening? Right? Okay, so let's move this deeper into this. Only basics for now. Okay? Remember, the first half, we're going to go only basics. How many of you guys right here would say, it's been 30 minutes or 25 minutes into the webinar, I've already learned something? We're not about wasting time here. We're about, you got to learn something before you leave, otherwise you're not allowed to leave. Okay, makes sense? Good. Let's go further. So this nasty car that's worth $1,000, normal price, let's go further into it. Prices are now doing this. Ready? I want you to observe what happens to your emotion. Okay, I'm bringing in one more factor to your how you're supposed to draw your state of the movements. Okay, so prices are hanging around 1,000 to 1,100. Okay, it's 1,000, 1,100, 1,000, 1,100, 1,000, 1,100. Okay, so far no movement, right? Do you feel panicked at all? No, you're like, oh, it's okay. It's $100 more or less, right? So it's like, it's not a big deal. It's okay. Okay, I can afford to buy that junk. All right, here we go. Now prices start to go up. 1,150. Just a little bit. The resistance that was here is now broken. Are you saying, oh my God, I can't wait to buy this? Do you feel like that? Therefore, this support equals resistance, not so valuable. Not so valuable. Emotions have not kicked in. Okay, we teach this part a lot in a lot of my webinars about how do you know where the support resistance might come, and it generally comes in deeper. Anyways, that's for other webinars, but this is tying into a lot of that stuff. So far, so good? So not so important. I'll just switch it around just a little bit. Prices go up to 1,500. Okay, now would you have some kind of a fear in you saying, hey man, I need to buy it soon. If I don't buy it soon, I don't know, maybe it'll become 3,000. Maybe it'll become 10,000. My neighbor, Tom, Dick, and Harry, they all bought at 1,100. I should have listened to them. So now when prices come down around 1,100, what do you think people will do? They will buy. Emotions began, support resistance got cemented. It got cemented. It becomes more natural to buy from the area now. Not because this is the same line as we were drawing before, but now it's more valid than before. Does that make sense? So what many people, what I like to teach in a very simplistic manner for all the people who want rigid, remember? I say, look at the size of the break, look at the size of the range. If the break is big, then the SNR will be close by. But now, if I take you away from the rigid and I say, you know what? Can you be one with me here? One with the universe and understand what just happened? So tell me one thing. Do you understand what just happened to emotions? Do you now know why this is a good support now? There you go. This is how you understand what is a good support, what is a good resistance. You have to do that calculation of got it. You can't just be blind and be like, oh, all right, I'm just going to do this. Oh my God, So beautiful. We should hang this up in the, the Louvre. We don't want to do that. Okay? Makes sense? So you want to be away from rigidness and try to understand why it's drawn. Why it's drawn. So far, so good? All right, we're going to go deeper now. Now that we're reached half of the webinar, shall we go deeper and take it into a more in-depth concept? Suman, you're asking if this is recorded? Yeah, it's recorded. It's recorded, so you can watch it. Well, you'll get the email in the next 48 hours about it, and you can watch it as many times as you want. But those of you guys who are asking about recorded, can you at least try to be here and watch it? It's more fun when you're here. Would you guys agree it's more fun to be here live? Excellent, excellent. I prefer you guys here live too, because I can feel the rhythm. I can know what you guys like, what you guys don't like, and I can adjust for you. Okay? So, thank you for being here live. Again, I always appreciate you guys taking the time. All right, so let's go further. Let's go further. Now let's talk about the concepts about support equals resistance. How does a transfer happen? Okay? There's a transfer, right? Because what we just talked about was just support, 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 support. How do we know support can become resistance? How does that happen? Let's talk about that. So, like earlier, we talked about this, right? 1,100 and 1,000. Prices go up a little bit. 1,000. Let's do it like this. Let's do it the simple way first. Boom. 1,700. Do people want to buy? Oh yeah, they want to buy, right? They really want to buy. They feel left out. Any price discount will be bought. So when the price comes in, the memory kicks in to buy it from here. If that buy fails to launch and it comes down and now the price is 500, what do you think happens to the people's emotion? Wait. I want you to move away from any label you're giving this chart. Do not draw it. Do not call it a certain thing. I want you to just think about the emotions. All of you veterans are going to label this. I don't want you to label this anything. I want you to simply say what happened to their brain. Did it explode? They're angry now. I thought 1,100 was a good deal, but now prices went to 500. What the bloody FFF, right? So now, if prices are coming back up, what do you think those angry people will say to their friends when their friends are like, maybe I should buy it at 1,100? They're going to say, do not buy it at 1,100. I would not recommend you buying it. So if no one buys it up here, what will happen to the price? If no one buys it from a store, what will the store owner have to do with the car? He has to drop the price. He has no choice. This support, right, has now become resistance. Not because of a drawing, remember that concept, not because of a drawing, but because of how it happened. Tell me you understood that, otherwise you're in trouble. Tell me you understood that. Why did the power transfer from support to resistance? Is it because I drew a line like that and the price must respect my line? It's the memory. It's the memory, correct. Good. Now, I'm going to change it just a little bit. Very tiny thing. Ready? Very tiny thing. Nothing else changes. Very tiny thing I'm going to change. Prices go up to 1,150. Tell me about the emotions of people saying, oh my God, I gotta buy it, I gotta buy it, I gotta buy it. Are they running after it? Are they lining up around the store? Yeah, like a lot of you guys are saying, meh. It's like, I wish I had emojis on this thing. I don't care. It's okay. It's just there. Nothing's really happening, right? Now, this, for many people, is gonna be support. If this thing goes down, tell me now, did support become resistance? Did support become resistance? But I'm drawing it correctly. Good. I'm very glad, very happy all of you guys are saying no. Not one yes. Very, very good. Very happy about this. Good job. Do you guys now start to understand why I should not draw that line? Good. Now, to mess with the veterans a little bit, because we like to mess with veterans too, because it's a webinar, you know, it's for everybody, you know, it's for beginners and for advanced people. Shall we go deeper? Okay. When I say mess with veterans, I don't mean people who went to war. Like, don't get this wrong. Like, I don't mess with those veterans. There's no way. Let's go in deeper. Prices are hovering around. Okay, $1,000. They shoot up. $1,700. Okay, emotions high, would you say? Is this a good support to draw? Yeah, absolutely, right? That's a good support to draw. If prices come down, but slowly, 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 and they do this, and they do that, what now? What just happened now? Think about it. Okay, now the brain is hijacked, right? That emotion that was here, what do you think happened to that emotion? Now they're more aggressive, like, oh my God, I can't believe I missed this. You'll find this very similar into the Bitcoin markets. Very, very similar. Okay. Now the expression of, damn it, I missed it again. Okay. I didn't buy it here. I was hoping to get that same price because I thought the market will come down and give me the same price all the time. They didn't give me the same price. They went up again. Now their support becomes here. Notice how I'm not drawing the support like somewhere down here, like most supply and demand people do. Supply and demand people will use areas like this. I'm not using that area. It's here. That's the level. So far, so good? Okay. Because now, as prices come around this area, they will try to buy it, especially if it comes down slowly. Especially if it comes down slowly. Because it is not a line that is drawn simply the way I just did. It has a story that comes with it. It has human emotions that carried on with it. It is an ongoing evolution of what is happening. You cannot just come in today and saying, what can I do here? It's part of the whole process. It's all of it. You have to understand all of it. Okay, let me ask you guys this. Those of you guys who are a little bit more advanced, when I say advanced, a little bit more experienced, like you've been in the industry more than 2 years. How many of you guys have been here more than 2 years? Okay, some people saying not me, a lot of people saying yes. Okay, those of you guys who are been here more than 2 years, there's a chart. The chart's like this, like that, this, and then you see that, and then today opens. This is today, right now. Here's what I see many experienced people do. I want you to stop this immediately, including newbies. I want you to avoid this trap. We come into the market, we look at this big red candle, and we say, oh, if I get a pullback, I'm going to sell it. We ignore everything to the left and saying, you know what? I'm like a horse. I don't see anything else. I only see this. I can't see anything else because I refuse to see anything else. Why? That can cause you trouble. Because how do you know if this is part of some emotion or not? This has come from all of this. There's some story here where the emotions were flaring up and down, up and down, up and down. How do you know what you're part of? Only when you have new highs or new lows can you go one trick pony. But if you're in part of a flow that has more story to the left, you can't just say, oh, look at that big buyer. Oh man, I'm just going to focus here. If I can just get a pullback, I want to buy. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, so how many guys here were in the podcast earlier? Good. Many of you guys were in the podcast, right? You guys remember Lucas talking a bit about volume? Okay, so as we want to talk about the advanced stuff a bit, let's talk a little bit about volume. What does volume have anything to do with support and resistance? Let's talk about it. Now, if this goes up and there's a lot of volume here, would you say more people bought than the store can sell? Okay, let's say the volume is very standard, very standard. Yeah, that is a sign of active buying. That is a sign that is a sign of active buying. Okay? Lucas keys off of this now. Compared to before where he used to just draw support and resistance, you can see there's a lot more evolution around it. So there's active there's there's active buying around these areas, right? If there's active buying around these areas, what do you think people are doing up here? So they're right now waiting, like, oh man, I wish I can buy this, but I'm not going to buy it up there. I'm not a crazy person, right? Many people do that. Like when it jumps up, like let's say the Bitcoin now has jumped up. Many people who didn't get in and they were hearing about it from their friends and stuff, but they're like, I don't know, man. I don't know. But when it jumps up, very few crazy people buy it up in the sky. But a lot of people will be like, okay, you know what? Okay, I believe you now. If I get a discount, I'll buy it. A lot of people are like that. If I get a good deal, I'll buy it because now they know this is a good deal. But if the price of the car that I told you is 1,000 and today is 10,000, how do you know if 10,000 is a good deal? You don't know if 10,000 is a good deal. It's just up in the sky. So who buys stuff like that? Do you go to the supermarket and you say, how much for this apple? $3. Okay, good. And you come in the next day, how much for this apple? Oh, $4,000. And you're like, I think it's going to go to 5,000. You know what? Here's $4,000 for the apple. Like, which moron does that? Right? No one does that. In real life, no one does that. No one does that. Okay, so in trading, you want to bring that same logic in. Stop doing that. Wait for that deal. Wait for that deal. Okay, so when the deal comes in, they will buy. Now, as the deal comes in and it's starting to pull back, if this is not met and it actually starts to turn around and it starts flying, that person who was waiting for that deal, his panic has increased a little bit more. His panic has increased a little bit more, which now means if the price slows down into this area, he will go more closer to this area. Because his memory point is this high where the discounts came in and then it broke that high. Does that make sense? That's how resistance now becomes support. This is resistance. People were expecting maybe this price will give a discount again. It didn't. It went up. So now when it comes down to here, they'll be like, you never know. It's going to go up again, man. Buy it now. It's the cheapest price you're going to get. It's the logic of, is it cheap or not? That's how support and resistance is created. The illusion and the idea that people put around, oh, this is a good price. This is a good price. Okay? Okay, I see some of you guys saying aha moment. How many of you guys can say, yeah, you guys learned something already? 15 minutes into the a little bit more advanced side. Okay, just a little bit more. Okay, can I ask you this? Who would have known support and resistance has so much information? It's because we're all trained to look at support and resistance in very childish manner. Okay, when I say childish manner is we're all learned, taught to do this and saying, oh yeah, you see it went up. Next time I'll do the same thing. Well, next time it won't work. Are you sure why it happens? Answer the why. If you know the why, you'll know everything. Okay, Chi Chung, exactly. Why? Why is important? Now, let me switch it around a little bit. I like to change things a little bit, just so you guys, I can see where your brain is getting curious. Ready? Here we go. $1,000, $1,100. Okay, so far so good. Is anyone going crazy? No, right? Things are normal. Okay, prices jump up, 1,700, like before. But this time, no volume. So now it's like, Huh, there's no demand? Prices went up without demand? So no one's buying it. And then there's some kind of a resistance here. And then the volume starts to show up. What do you think that means? It doesn't mean sellers are coming in. It's panic buyers. Very good, Felix. Panic buyers. We need to understand who the hell is buying up there now? And why are they buying so much up there? Okay, why are they buying so much up there? We want them to succeed. If they do not succeed, there's a problem up in that area. We will never go back up there properly. Okay, if this buy hangs around here, and then it pops up, would we then say, oh, genius people, I know what they were doing. That makes sense. Interesting. Right? That's us. Like, whoa, who's buying up there? And then when that happens, we're like, that's why they bought up there. Okay, makes sense. So cool. Now let me ask you this. In that design, remember in the beginning when I was trying to mess with you guys who have been in the industry a little bit too longer, and we said, which one is good? Is this a good support? Now look at this. Tell me about the resistance. Is that a good resistance? Now you put that together with the volume information, the story changes. Even if you're at a resistance, just because your resistance has touched 5 or more times, 3 or more times, 7 or more times, I don't know who has all these kind of rules. Doesn't matter how many times it's touched. What does it mean to you? That is the key. If you cannot answer that, then you'll be drawing a line endlessly for the rest of your life and getting nowhere. Sometimes it works, you'll make money. Sometimes it doesn't work, you give back your money. Zero-sum game. Does that make sense? Now, shall we switch it up just a little bit? Here we go. Let's switch it up just a little bit. Let's talk about this one. Why did I say this is not good? Isn't that supposed to be good? Okay. All right. So I know you guys have been waiting for this since the beginning, and you guys were like, all right, Navin, I sat through the damn webinar. I went through the basics just so I can see, why is this one not good? What are you trying to tell me? Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about this. Tell me right now, at 1700, what do people want to do? They want to buy. They can't wait to buy, right? They want a discounted buy. If the discount does this, do people still want to buy? Yeah. The context is still for a buy. So if I put a resistance here, I don't care how strong that reaction is, the context is still for a buy. That will be destroyed. So far, so good? Does that make sense? So you can't just look at a strong reaction purely based on emotion either. It's all of it together that tells you, and that's your support and resistance. Therefore, you want to use it. So which line is better? Is the blue line a correct line to draw? Or is the black line a correct line to draw? Which one is more accurate, the blue or the black? The black line. Very good. Yeah? Is it starting to click now? It's starting to make sense of what makes a good level. It's the whole concept around why was a level made to begin with? Okay, so we went through quite a bit of stuff. We went in a big loop of the importance of support and resistance. Would you say support and resistance is important now that you watched it? So those of you guys who are new to support and resistance, I hope the last half of the webinar doesn't scare you. In fact, I wanted to inspire you to be like, when you go rigid, that's coming next. It'll come automatically. If you've spent 2 years in the market and that hasn't come, that means you're so rigid. Maybe it's due to cultural aspects or age. You're unable to break away from the pattern. You must calm down and have an open mind to be like, I wonder what this means. I wonder where this is leading me to. Instead of, no, you must draw it like this. That didn't work. Let me go to the library, look at the books. That's how you do it. Okay, you must do it like this. You don't want to be rigid in the markets ever, ever. All right, so all of you guys who are not in Urban Forex, I wanted to tell you guys that if you guys would like to join Urban Forex, if you like the way I teach, then we have a 8-week long program that I had specifically designed for some premium students back in the day. We went through version 1.0, which is very powerful, and now we're at version 2.0, which is called the Mastering Price Action 2.0. If you are interested in joining the Mastering Price Action 2.0, it's an 8-week long program. I take you step by step into what you need to see, how you need to approach the markets, what you want to do. As you saw, there's like 70% of the people in the room are actually students. So you know people like the stuff there. So you have feedback there as well. There's a lot of good stuff to see, a lot of good stuff to learn. I walk you through in a rigid format, but give you the idea of how to be unrigid as well. So that is the Mastering Price Action 2.0, walking you step by step to start your journey correctly. It's not going to be overnight. I want to be honest and upfront with you right now. It's not going to be overnight, but if everything I've taught you makes sense and it's logical to you, then trading can be a career for you. But if it's not logical for you, then maybe it's not the right path to take. So those of you guys who do want to join, you can join today for free using a free trial that we have. Give it a shot. Go through the first week of lessons, understand what I'm trying to say, see if things click, and it will, at the very least, stop the bleeding, get you a little bit profitable, and then if you want to take it further, we have more advanced programs where we can go even deeper and deeper and deeper, and we can talk about how you can make more money from the same trades. All right. So thank you guys again for being here. It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time to be here. To close off, if you guys can just let me know, did you guys learn something in this webinar? Yeah, excellent, excellent, great. It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming. Until next time, guys. Cheers. Bye for now.